What up, guys? Welcome back to Almost Functional. Here with some more index reviews. Today we're getting into the Xenos, which were finally released today. So we're going to start with the Leagues of Votann because that's the only Xenos army I currently own, so that one actually matters to me. Let's see what we got here. If your army faction is League of Votann, each time an enemy unit destroys a League of Votann unit from your army, that enemy unit gains one judgment token. Enemy unit can never have more than 2 judgment tokens. Any further tokens are discarded or ignored. Each time a model from your army with this ability makes an attack that targets a unit with has one or more judgment tokens, until that model's attack is resolved, apply the relevant bonuses from the table below. If they have 1, you get +1 to hit. If they have 2, you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Uh, that's not nearly as strong as the previous rules. Uh, if it but I mean, it's something. The lethality's going down, and Votann were very lethal, so they definitely couldn't leave it the way it was. Uh, if a unit with a judgment token is removed from a battlefield, make a note of how many judgment tokens it had when it was removed. That unit is set up on the battlefield again. Place. Oh, not if it's destroyed. If it's they go into deep strike or something. All right. So if you leave the table, you come back with the same amount of judgment tokens. Then their detachment rule is ruthless efficiency. At the start of the battle, select one unit from your opponent's army. That unit starts the battle with 2 judgment tokens. At the start of any of your command phases, that enemy unit was destroyed. You gain a number of CP depending on how early in the battle you destroyed it. You only gain CP in this way once per battle, and the CP gained in this way are an exemption to core rules that limit how many you can get per battle round. Unit destroyed by the start of your first or second turn, 3 CP. Start of your third or fourth, 2 CP. By the 1 CP. That's their only army rule. It's just if we can kill one specific unit, we get some extra CP. I'm not a big fan of that. Then their stratagems are Warrior Pride, which is in the fight phase. One League of Votann unit from your army and one enemy unit that has one or more judgment tokens and is within engagement range. Until end of the phase, each time a model unit makes a melee attack that targets that enemy unit, improve the AP by 1 for each judgment token the enemy has, so possibly 1 or 2, because you can't have more than 2. Uh, okay. And Central Sentence, Shooting Phase, one League of Votann unit from your army. Till the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack, that attack has the Sustains Hits 1 ability. And each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack that targets a unit that has 1 or more judgment tokens, that attack has Sustained Hits 2 instead. Alright, so you can give one of your units Sustained Hits 1. If they're shooting a judgment token unit, they have Sustained Hits 2, so it'll be extra hits on 6s. Then we have Ordered Retreat. Your movement phase booster for League of Votann unit fell back. The units eligible to shoot and charge. Then we have Reactive Reprisal. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has one or more judgment tokens has resolved its attacks. One League of Votann unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more of the unit's attacks. Your League of Votann unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but it must target that enemy unit that just attacked. It can only do so if the enemy unit is an eligible target. Alright, we had that before. I don't like that you can only do it. A lot of these you only get to do if people have judgment tokens, so you have to lose models before you start gaining these. We'll see if they give us any way to gain judgment tokens other ways, but the Newfound Nemesis, your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just after enemy unit has resolved its attack. One Leagues of Votann entry or one Leagues of Votann mounted unit from your army that was reduced to below half strength as a result of attacking its attacks. Attacking unit gains 1 judgment token or up to 2 judgment tokens instead if that Leagues of Votann unit contained your warlord when it was targeted. Alright, so if they get one of your units below half strength, you can spend a CP to give them a judgment token. That helps a little bit. Your opponent's shooting, then Void Armor, your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase just an enemy unit selected its targets. One Leagues of Votann unit that was a target. Until end of phase, they basically get armor contempt. But it's not like full Void Armor where you can't reroll the wounds and all that stuff. It's just neg 1 AP. Alright, nothing super impressive or exciting yet. Then we have the enhancements. We have Appraising Glare, a Leagues of Votann model only. In your command phase, you can select one objective marker your opponent controls until the end of the phase while an enemy unit is within range of that objective marker. It counts as having one or more judgment token than it actually has to a maximum of 2. Counts as having one more judgment token. Alright. After this, you pop on an objective and any enemy unit within range of it gets at least 1 or 2 judgment tokens. That's okay. We got Grimnear, which is you can reroll battle shock tests taken for the bear's unit, and models on you can ignore any roll modifiers to their characteristics and or to any rolls or tests made except saving throws. That's a nice enhancement. League of Votann model only. Each time the bear's unit destroys an enemy unit, if that enemy unit has one or more judgment tokens, you can select one other unit that is visible to the bearer, and the other unit gains 1 judgment token. Alright, so if they have 2, you don't give 2, you should only give 1, but that's something, passing a token along. Then we have Wayfarer's Grace, Leagues of Votann model only. The first time the bearer is destroyed after placing a judgment token next to the unit that destroyed it, will 1d6 at the end of the phase. On a 2+, set the bearer back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was, with its full wounds. That's okay. These two are really nice. This one's okay, and this one, yeah, these two are, yeah. The enhancements are fine. Definitely like the enhancements better than some of the other stuff so far. We got Uther. I don't see. I guess they're not going to be faction locked. So you just take Uther. Or, well, I guess there might not be leagues in the index that you pick from. So you just looks like from this you can take Uther in pretty much anything. He's T5, 5 wounds. He's got the Volkite Disintegrator, which is devastating wounds, 3 attacks, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage, 6 is wound to mortals. I believe before it was 6 to hit did mortals, so that's a little worse, but it still keeps the ability to do mortals. And then he has Blade of Ancestors, which is devastating wounds, 5 attacks, hits on 2, strength 6, neg 3, 2 damage. That one also did devastating wounds before. Can't remember if it was on the hit or the wound, but it still keeps the ability to do mortals. Then he has Ancestral Fortune. Once per turn, you can change 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, or 1 damage roll made for this model to a 6. So it's only on him. That's a big nerf. Each time attack is allocated to this model, change the damage characteristic to 1. So that stays the same. It keeps that. And then once per battle round in your command phase, you can select 1 model from your army that with this ability, then select 1 enemy that's visible to that model, and the enemy gains 1 judgment. Alright, so you can still hand out judgment tokens with Uther. We'll see if the other calls can do that. And then while he's leading a unit, models in the unit have a 5 invul save. Alright. And he can join Hearthguard and Hearthkin. Alright. So, I mean, those are your 2 main. You're not going to put him in with berserks or anything. So that's fine. Uther's fine. Definitely toned this down a lot, but that was super powerful before. So if he's not as expensive as he was, that'll be fine. And yeah, he just comes with the Rampart Crest, so I don't see Teleport Crest. We'll see if Teleport Crests are still a thing. We got the regular call here, T5, 4 wounds. He's got the Altark Pattern Combi Bolter, which is 4 attack, strength 4, 1 damage. The 4-drop Plasma Axe is 4 attack, strength 5, neg 2, 2 damage. And the Mass Gauntlet is 3 attack, strength 8, neg 2, 3 damage. Kindred Hero, while he's leading a unit, they gain lethal hits, or it's a 6 is auto wound. Alright, so while he's leading a unit, your 6 is auto wound, which really hurts the stuff that has devastating wounds, because you get that 6 to wound, or 6 to hit, it you don't have a chance to roll a 6 to wound. And then he also can choose an enemy unit and give him a judgment token. But you can only do it with 1 model from your army. So you can't do, if you have multiple calls in Uther, you can't be handing out 2 or 3 like we could before. So there's not really much need to double up on a call or anything like that. Like I would do occasionally, take Uther in a regular call, but really not much point for that anymore. So you can have a Rampart Crest or the Teleport Crest. Teleport Crest gives a Deep Strike. We didn't have the strat for picking up and re-deep striking. So That's not there, so they just gain deep strike, or you can take the 5-up invul. Which, if we don't have the ability to do the pick up and redeep strike, that really hurts. That was like a huge part of the mobility of Votann. So we see if they kept it on like one of the units or something. He can join Hearthguard and Warriors. Then we got the Iron Hero Champion. He's T6, 5 wounds. He's got the Auto Pattern Combo. He's got the Dark Star Axe, is 6 attack, strength 6, -2 damage. Then he's got Exemplar of the Iron Hero. While he's leading a unit, they can reroll charge rolls. That's a nice ability. And then Mass Driver Accelerators. Each time this model ends a charge move, you can select one enemy unit within engagement range of this unit. Roll 1d6. On a 2 to 5, that enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a 6, D3 plus 3. Yep, that's nice. And then he does the Teleport Crest and the Weafield Crest, which gives a 4-up info. And then he can join just the Hearthguard. But they don't have the caveat here, so you can't join a call in him to a unit. Alright, then we got the Grimnear, T5, 4 wounds on him, 1 on his corpse. That's fine. He's got Ancestral Wrath as a shooting power. Strength 3, 3 attacks, strength 6, -2 D3 damage, and if you make it hazardous, it goes to 6 attacks, but the rest of the profile is the same. He's got his Ancestral Ward Staff. It's Psychic, 1 attack, only 1 attack, strength 7, -1 D3 damage, and then his little guys are going to have combat weapons. Fortify is a Psychic. While this model is leading a unit, improve the toughness by 1. And then Grimnear's Regard. Once per battle, after this unit fails a battle shock, the model can use the ability. If it does, that unit is no longer battle shocked. Alright, so that's fine. He can make his unit basically do the Insane Bravery once per battle without having to use the strat or the CP. So that's nice. Let's see what he can join. He can join just the Hearthkin Warriors. If the Grimnear's ever destroyed, all the cores are gone. Yep, that's normal. It doesn't have the ability to regain CP, which was a huge thing that he did before. So that's gone. But his shooting attack is nice. His combat's very lackluster. But he has decent shooting, and that he can make the Warriors tougher. That's nice. Because assuming they're a 4 or 5, so that would put them up to a 5 or 6. Here's a Broker Ironmaster. He was one of the best things in the book before. T5, 4 wounds, 2 wounds on the assistant, 1 wound on his ecogs. He gets his Graviton Rifle, which is anti-vehicle 2+, 3 attacks, strength 5, -1 3 damage. Lasbeam Cutter is 1 attack, strength 6, -3 1 damage. Graviton Hammer is anti-vehicle 2+, 3 attacks, strength 9, -1 3 damage. The Manipulator Arms are 3 attacks, strength 3, 1 damage. The Plasma Torch is 1 attack, strength 6, -3 2 damage. Gets the Multi-Spectre Visor. While he's leading a unit, each time a model unit makes a range attack, add 1 to the hit roll. That's really nice. And then into your movement phase, this unit can repair 1 friendly Leagues of Votann vehicle or exoframe model within 3 of it. The model gains D3 lost wounds, or 3 lost wounds instead if it contains an Ironkin assistant. Each model can only be repaired once per turn. That's okay, not nearly as strong as he was before, and giving +1 hit, isn't that also what the Judgment Token did? Let me scroll back up, because it wasn't +1 ballistic skill, right? It was just +1 to hit. Yeah, so basically, his unit will get no benefit from having a Judgment Token, because you can't have +2 to hit. Unless they're somehow getting a -1 to hit from somewhere, and then they will, but generically, his unit will just count as having 1 Judgment Token on whatever they're shooting at least. Alright, and then he can join Brokir Thunderkin or Hearthkin Warriors. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, nothing special. And then here's the Hearthkin Warriors. These are your regular battle line guys. They're T5, so if you have who is the Grimnear leading them, they go to T6, so that's really nice. There's still only 1 wound. They are OC2. They got the Plasma Beaner, which is sustained hits D3, 1 shot, strength 8, -3 2 damage. The Plasma Pistol is 1 shot, strength 8, -3 2 damage. The High Las Auto Rifle is Assault Rapid Fire 3, 3 shots, strength 6, -1 1 damage. The high-las rotary cannon, heavy, sustained hits 1, 6 shots, strength 6, neg 1 damage. I don't remember them being able to take the high-las rotary before. That was on top of the bikes. So maybe they'll be giving us a kit to give these to the guys. Then we get the Ion Blaster is 1 shot, strength 5, neg 2, 1 damage. The Ion Pistol is 1 shot, strength 5, neg 2, 1 damage. The L7 Missile has a Blast, which is Blast. It's D6 shots, strength 4, 1 damage. And a Focused, which is 1 shot, strength 9, neg 2, D6. And then the Magna Rail is Devastating Wounds Heavy. It's 1 shot, hits on 5s, 4s if you're stationary. Strength 12, neg 3, D3 plus 3 damage. And heavy just gives you plus 1 to hit, so even if you're stationary with the judgment token, you're still not going to hit on better than 4s. That thing was super strong before, so it's a really unreliable weapon now. So if it's still pointed anywhere near what it was, you probably won't be taking them. Then they get the Kin melee weapon is 2 attacks, strength 5, neg 2, 2 damage. It's actually a decent profile for just a generic unit. I don't know if they all get that or if that's just on the sergeant. We'll find out in a minute. They have luck has need keep oils turns. Basically, they give you sticky objectives. That's really nice. Scanner ignores cover. Comms array gives you a chance to regain CP. Medpack just gives you 6 of feel no pain. No more 0 the first damage, and I didn't see anything to let you bring models back. But a 6 of feel no pain's okay on one model unit, 1 wound units. It's not as good, but. And then if you take the wheel fold crest, you can give them a 4-up invul, which that would be really nice on unit. You put the Grimnear in here, make them T6 with a 4-up invul. Even with 1 wound, they could be a little chunky. They only come in 10-man squads now, so no more running the big 20s, which I don't know if a lot of people did, but I've seen it run a few times, but that is not an option. The Thane is additionally equipped with a Weefold crest. They'll have an alt pistol, a bolter, and a close combat weapon. They can all swap out their bolter for Ion Blaster. Let's see. The Thane can take the Kin melee. So the Kin melee weapon is only on the Thane. That's fine. I was hopeful everybody would get it, but that would really make them just way better in combat than they should be. The Kin melee weapon is just replaced in the sword, the axe, and stuff that you could give them before. Then we got the Hearthguard. These are one of my favorite units before. They're T6, 2 wounds. They got the Plasma Gun. The Extra Armor Grenade Launcher is Blast, D6 shots, Strength 4, AP 0, 1 damage. This used to be neg 1, I believe. So its AP did go down. They got the Disintegrator. The Concussion Gauntlet is 2 attacks, Strength 9, neg 2, 2 damage. Concussion Hammer, 3 attacks, Strength 9, neg 1, 3 damage. And the Plasma Blade Gauntlet is 3 attacks, Strength 6, neg 2, 1 damage. Alright, and then while the character is leading this unit, each time an attack targets this unit, if the strength characteristic attack is greater than the unit's toughness, subtract 1 to the room roll. So basically anything strength 7 or higher attacking them is going to be -1 to wound. That's nice. Teleport just gives them deep strike, and We've Killed Crest gives them 4 invul. So I don't see anything about them being able to teleport, and you're equipped the We've Quailed, you can replace with the teleport, so you have to choose whether you want deep strike or the invul, which is really tough, because without the ability to pick up and redeploy them, deep strike would still be nice, but it's not as good, whereas the 4-up invul, alright, we'll see what, if any of the transports are like a land raider, you can assault out of them. If they are, then maybe you take the invul and stick them in there. And then here's the berserks. They're T5, 2 wounds, 6-up save. The Mole Grenade Launcher is Blast Indirect. 24 inches, D6 attack, Strength 5, neg 1, 1 damage. They have the Concussion Maul. They have the Heavy Plasma Axe, which has a strike and a sweep. Strike is 3 attacks, Strength 6, neg 2, 2 damage, or 6 attacks, Strength 4, neg 1, 1 damage. And then they can take a Twin Concussion Gauntlet, which is twin linked, 4 attacks, Strength 9, neg 1, 2 damage. I think I like the Heavy Plasma Axe still, I did before, because it gives you versatility. You can swing with 2 damage, or you can swing with 1 damage. Like Like, you're not dedicated. Like the Maul and the Gauntlet, if you specifically want them to go after big stuff, that's a better option. But if you want them to be more versatile, really have a chance to be useful into anything, you take the Plasma Axe. They have Field of Pain 5 up, and they have I can speak. Cyber Stems. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6. On a 4 up, do not remove from plays. Alright, so their fight on death became a 4 up fight on death, so you have to roll to see if you get it. And then subterranean explosives. In your shooting phase, after the shooting has shots, like the one enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, hit by one or more of the unit's mold grenade launchers this phase, and roll 1d6. On a 4 plus, until the end of your opponent's turn, they're -2 move and -2 to their advance and charge rolls. Alright, so it only happens on a 4 up now, but you do slow people down. Not quite as good as what it did before, but it's still a decent ability. And they can still be taken in 5 to 10s. We got the Pioneers. This was one of the key units of Votann. 12-inch move, T6, 3 wounds, OC2, which is nice. They're not battle line, so you still can only take 3 units of them. Bolt Revolver is Pistol, 1 shot, Strength 5, AP 1 damage. Bolt Shotgun is Assault, 2 shots, Strength 5, AP 1 damage. The High Las Routery is Sustained Hits 1, 6 shots, Strength 6, -1, 1 damage. Ion Beamer, Sustained Hits D3, 3 attacks, Strength 7, -2, 1 damage. And then the Magna Coil Autocannon is 3 attacks, Strength 7, -1, 2 damage. Alright, so High Las and Magna Coil. I think one of them might have been AP2 before, but maybe not. But they still seem fine. Shotgun, I believe, lost in AP, but I could be wrong about that. And then they get a Plasma Knife, which is 2 attacks, Strength 4, 1 damage. They have a Scout 9-inch, so they don't just get a pre-game move of their full movement, but they still do get to move 9 inches, so that's nice. And at the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit is within 6 inches of any battlefield edge and not within engagement range, you can put it in reserve. Okay, that's nice. They're already your fastest unit, but that helps you. It's at the end of your opponent's turn. You can get to objectives, and that's not horrible. That's really nice ability. Then the comms array and the scanner are the same as before. And then we saw earlier, and then the searchlight is each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack that targets a unit that contains 1 or more models with a stealth ability, add 1 to the hit roll. Alright, so they get +1 against stealth, which is nice because stealth is -1, so basically cancel stealth, and then if you have judgment tokens or anything else, you will still get a regular +1. So actually, I still really like the Pioneers. They are still 3 to 6 man units. For every 3, you can still take one of the big guns. So good. I'm glad Pioneers don't seem to. I mean, they lost a little bit off their movement in the Scout, but they still get a pre-game move. So really like the Pioneers. Pioneers looking good. We got the Sagittar. T10, 9 wounds, OC3. That's good OC for a vehicle. The High Las Beam Cannon is Sustained Hits D3, 2 attacks, Strength 12, -3 D6. That's solid. We've seen the missile launcher. Then the Autocannon is 6 shots, Strength 7, -1, 2 damage. Their missile launcher is 2 attacks, Strength 12, -3, 3 damage. And then the Twin Bolt Cannon, Sustained Hits 1 Twin Link, so 3 shots, Strength 6, -1, 2 damage. So there are basically half the shots now, but they get to reroll wounds, so that's unfortunate, but that's happened to a lot of the Twin Link double weapon type guns like that. Then they have a Scout 6-inch move, so that's nice. The Sagittars get a pre-game move, which I don't believe they had before. If they did, I never used it. They have Blistering Advance. Units can disembark for this transport after it advance. Units do so count as having made a normal move, but can't charge. That's really nice. So you can advance this thing up, jump your units out, and shoot. Can you take, let's see, 6 Leagues of Votann Infantry Models. It cannot transport Exo Armor or Exo Frame models. It's just 1 Sagittar. Alright, so there's no more of taking 2 Sagittars in a squad and putting your 10-man unit in it and splitting them into 5s, which I really like to do. Oh wait, nope, maybe it is right here at the start of your you can select 1 Hearthkin Warrior unit from your army and split it into 2 units containing 5 models. With splitting that way, take a note of which models from each of the two new units. Alright, one must start on the transport, and the other can start battle embarked with another transport or can be deployed as a separate unit. Actually, alright, so that's actually better, because you used to have to take two to do this. Now you can take one and start one on the table if you want. Or, since they're dedicated, you can still take two and do it, because you can take up to 6 of these. Alright, Sagittar's fine. Sagittar looks like it's still good. It gained a 6-inch pregame move. You can advance into disembark out of it. It's got decent OC. Alright, so Sagittar really looks good. Here's the Brokir Thunderkin. T6, 3 wounds. The Bolt Cannon is sustained hits 1, 3 shots, strength 6, neg 1, 2 damage. Graviton Blast is anti-vehicle 2 blast. D6 shots, strength 5, neg 2, 2 damage. The Conversion Beamer is 1 shot, strength 7, neg 1, 3 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, if the target is more than 12 from the bearer, an unmodified successful hit roll of 4 is a critical hit. Alright, so if you're more than 12 inches away, you're going to be getting sustained hits D3 on 4s. And you hit on 4s. So that's, I mean, unless you're getting +1, but that's decent. And then they have Oathband Covering Fire. Each time you target this unit with the Fire Overwatch strat, hits are scored to unmodified hit rolls of 5+ when resolving that strat. So they got 5 of Overwatch. They seem fine. I don't have an issue with their profile. Here's the Lan Fort. This is the big boy. T12, 16 wounds, OC5. OC5's nice. Cyclic Ion Cannon is 24-inch range, D6 plus 3, strength 9, neg 2, 2 damage. He's got the Heavy Magna Rail Cannon, devastating wounds heavy, 1 shot, strength 18, neg 4, D6 plus 6 damage. It's only 1 shot hitting on 4s now, but it's heavy, so you'll be hitting on 5s if you're stationary, or 3s if you're stationary, or 3s with a Judgment Token. Strength 18, neg 4 is nice, D6 plus 6 nice. If you get with 1 shot, you don't have the auto 6 from Uther anymore, so you can't rely on it doing devastating, but if you do, roll that 6, that's really nice. The Hegaton Warhead is blast, indirect fire, 1 shot, D6 plus 3 attacks, strength 7, neg 2, 2 damage. That's a really nice profile, but the fact that you only shoot it once per battle, we'll see how many points it is, and you used to have to give up the ignore cover to take it, so if that's still the same, I wouldn't take this. We've seen the autocannon, we've seen here's a SP Heavy Conversion Beamer. Conversion sustained hits D3, 2 shots, strength 10, neg 2, 4 damage. Same thing, if you're within half range, you critical hit on 4s. Twin Bolt Cannon, Twin Ion Beamer, I believe we've seen both of those already. They get sustained hits and twin linked. Has fire support in a shooting phase. After this model is shot, select 1 unit. It scored 1 or more hits against this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a friendly model disembarked from this transport this turn makes an attack, you can reroll the wound roll against the enemy. Alright. And then the Defense Spectral Scanner still ignores cover. Alright, so you can reroll your wounds with any unit that disembarked out of this. Can hold up to 12 Votann. Each exo armor takes up 2. Exo frame takes up 3. So you can put Alright, so you can still jump a bunch of Hearthskin Warriors or jump a unit of Hearthguard out of here, and he'll buff their shooting. He's still got decent shooting. Everything for the most part went down on lethality, so well, he's not what he was compared to everything else. He's going to be harder to kill for most part, and still does decent shooting, so we'll see what his points are, but not bad. So a couple of units, like the Pioneers and the Sagittar, I think really look good. Most of the others look okay, look fine. They don't look really bad. The army rules and strats I'm a little disappointed in, but the data sheets aren't horrible, so we'll see how well they do. They're definitely worth putting on the table and checking out, playing around with some different stuff. They're going to play much differently than they did before, but they're still really cool models, still really cool army. But that's it for the Votann, and we'll see you guys next time.